Chairman of Nigeria's electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Jega, held a town hall meeting in Abuja today to speak on the state of his commission's preparedness for general elections scheduled for March 28 and April 11. The head of Nigeria's electoral body also used the occasion to speak on some very topical issues people had been seeking clarifications on. One of such issues, of course, is that of internally displaced persons. Would they actually be voting? Here's what he had to say.
We have recognized that in the three northeast states that are challenged with the insurgency, unless efforts are made to allow internally displaced persons to vote, there may be difficulty in having a return, both for governorship and for other constituency-level elections, and it may also affect returns in the presidential elections. So that is why INEC took the decision that we would work very hard to ensure that as many of the internally displaced persons in these three states are allowed to participate in the electoral process. We have no time or resources to be able to organize voting for 2015 elections for all internally displaced persons, whether they have gone out of the country or whether they have moved out of these states. It's practically impossible for INEC to be able to do that. But where we have placed priority is that all internally displaced persons that are still remaining in these states, we have made arrangements and identified venues, and in these venues we distributed their permanent voters cards, and we are making arrangements for them to be able to vote in these locations. And the polling units in those locations are going to be arranged in the order of constituencies, in order again to make it easier for being able to make a return. So the card readers will be configured in accordance with the polling units and the constituencies that are defined in these areas. So, and the other thing, there are over 1 million internally displaced persons within those states, but only a fraction of them, I think barely 20%, actually are in camps. So there are more internally displaced persons in host communities than there are in the camps. So that's why the arrangements we are making is we found suitable places, in most cases outside of the camps, except in Maiduguri, where in a few places we've located them inside of the camps for security reasons. But we find suitable places so that both people in and out of camps will be able to access these polling stations for them to be able to participate in the electoral process.
Now, on the controversial card reader, Jega says the commission would deploy them for the election. He expressed confidence that the card reader technology would guard against any chances of rigging and that it would make it impossible for anyone to clone the permanent voters' cards.
We feel confident that yes, people will try to clone cards, but a clone card cannot be read by our card reader. And we've seen it now, at least during these additional public demonstrations we did, at least in Port Harcourt, in River State. Somebody came with a clone card, and presented it, and clearly the card reader didn't read it. And in the commotion, somehow, regrettably again, before our senior officials could get there, he ran away and escaped. Because he could have been arrested and prosecuted for bringing a clone card there. Many people deliberately had gone to polling units other than the ones they had registered and had tried to be accredited. And they couldn't be accredited because the card reader would not allow it. It will provide information clearly that you are not registered in that polling unit. If a card reader fails, and is very, very highly unlikely that a card reader will fail if there is a malfunction of a card reader, we agreed that accreditation will be suspended and the card reader will be replaced within the period of accreditation. And then we will adjust the time to compensate for time lost.
Now, on Sunday, there was a fire outbreak at the INEC office in Abuja. Feeling fears election materials may have been destroyed, Professor Jega seized the opportunity of the town hall meeting to shed some light on the fire incident.
Saturday night, there was a fire outbreak in our central store here in Abuja. This is a common thing that many people are aware. There was no general electricity, and when they brought back the light, there was a spark in one of the distribution panels. And that distribution panel caught fire, and it was around 11 p.m. at night. But we mobilized and got the support of the fire service, and within a period of 1 hour, the fire was controlled. Some 2011 old stock of electoral materials, primarily handbags for election officials and envelopes, were destroyed. No material relating to the preparations for the 2015 general elections was affected in the fire incidents. And that was why, in order to minimize speculation, we ourselves, Sunday morning, contacted the media and informed them. Nobody knew that this had happened, but we contacted them, notified them, organized a tour where we showed them this is what happened, this is the extent of the damage. It has not affected any preparation for the 2015 general election, and that was the opportunity they had to take photographs. But still, some of them have gone ahead to make sensational reporting out of it. But I can assure you that it was unfortunate that happened. It was contained. Some materials were destroyed, but there were 2011 excess materials that had not been cleared out of the store. Even that, it was minimal. And it therefore has no effect on the 2015 preparations for the election.
For quite some time now, there have been mounting speculation that Jega may be removed from his position before the elections. Some groups have also held rallies calling for his sack, accusing him of being biased. Here was his response.
Nobody has told me I'm being removed, and I'm not under any pressure. And I believe that it will be a disservice to this country at this point in time for me to say I'm resigning when I have absolutely no reasons why I should resign. So everybody in INEC is focused on delivering the best elections that we can for this country.
Now, still on the town hall meeting, the INEC chairman also used the occasion to throw more light to the court judgment, which ordered the commission to register the Young Democratic Party, YDP.
YDP was an association that wanted to be registered, Young Democratic Party wanted to be registered as a political party. We did not register them because we believed that we had sufficient legal grounds not to register them. But they went to court, and the Federal High Court gave a judgment that they are deemed to have been registered. And we have already instructed our lawyers to appeal that judgment. And the officials of the party went around, evidently organizing press conferences and even saying that the court said we should put them on the ballot. I'm glad that even the court now had come out to ask them to show cause why they shouldn't be disciplined for lying against the court. So as far as we are concerned, we respect court orders, but there is a process. If there is a judgment at a lower court and you believe you have justifiable grounds to appeal it, you appeal it. So we are following the normal legal course. We believe that we treated them fairly, and therefore we have appealed that judgment. So to my mind, and from the best legal advice that we have received in the commission, that case will have no impact on the conduct of the 2015 general elections.
Now, one more issue the INEC boss spoke about is that of physically challenged persons. The INEC boss said special registration would be arranged for them.
During the registration, for people who have no fingers, we did special registration for them. And originally, that's why we have the incident reporting form. So that when somebody who has no fingers or has no hand comes to a polling unit, even though the card reader would read his card and certify that this is a card issued by INEC, there is no way he or she could be authenticated. So we have an incident reporting form. And it is this incident reporting form for the physically challenged that we agreed with the political parties when there was a general concern that in the context of Nigeria, many people's fingerprints may not be read by the card reader for no fault of theirs. So we agreed several months ago with all the political parties that once you come, your card is read, your details are verified, we know it's not a clone card, it's an INEC issued card, and your fingerprint cannot be read. Once it is established that you are the owner of the card, and there is biometric authentication, there is physical authentication, and there are party agents, there are observers, so it's very easy to confirm that yes, this is the true owner of the card. Once that happens, an incident form is written that your fingerprints are not captured, but it's confirmed that you are the one, you are accredited to vote. I was shocked to see some governors on TV some days ago saying that INEC is saying that if your fingerprints are not authenticated, you will be prevented from voting. There is nothing like that.